Please join us. Shabbat Shalom, the first Shabbat of the summer. It is nice to be on the Bima, to be back with all of you after the third Shabbat with my new son Asher, which is really a joy. We say hi to Caleb and Zoe and Asher who are joining us online, as well as all who are joining us in our sanctuary, as well as those who are joining us wherever you may be praying from. So in the chat box, please let us know where you are celebrating Shabbat from this week. And as we mark this moment, mark this holiness of Shabbat, we also think about those in Surfside, Florida, who are ushering in Shabbat with the hope of their loved ones can be found. Our hearts break for the Jewish community down in Surfside, as well as the larger Miami community. And so I share a prayer from Rabbi Karen Kadar. To the God of creation, the earth shakes to the very foundations. Fire and water unleashed fury. Creator of the universe, whose name is love and compassion, and whose essence is wisdom, divinity, purpose. We cry in anguish. We are submerged in doubt and fear. Help us to hold the suffering of the world and offer a compassionate hand. God of mercy, be gentle with our pain and doubt. Help us as we struggle with confusion and loss. Darkness, cold, fear, hunger, thirst, protect us. Creator of the universe, we offer gratitude for the blessings, for survival, for the graciousness of strangers, and for heroic acts that abound. Grant us strength, resilience, fortitude, hope, faith. On page 130, we turn to the words of Lechu Neranana.
Lechu Neranana, yai lai 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 lai, la Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Naria, yai lai 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 lai, Letzur Yeshenu, yai lai 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 lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all.
lai, 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 lai.
Ay, ay, lai, 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 lai. Ay, ay, lai, 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 lai.
Barbara and Jerry Eisner wish us a Shabbat Shalom. Paul and Amy Meshes are driving from New Jersey back to Texas and are stopping in Brownsville, Tennessee, home of the state's oldest shul. Why aren't you there? I guess that's my question. Maybe do they still have services there? But we would continue with welcoming of Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 138.
Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamu v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'necha, Ki hi mekor haberacha. Merosh v'kedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshavat techila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Hitoriri, Kiva over, Kumi ori, Uri, Shida biri, Kivor Adonai, Alai Yikla. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. We rise in body and spirit and face your sanctuary doors. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, Kam b'simcha u'v'tzala. Tov emunei am sigla, Boi chala, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. We invite you to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Either text someone, go introduce yourself, say hi, wish each private chat someone, and please be seated. We continue our service on page 121. It's my honor to invite up Arlene Gardner and Ed Israelo to help us light our Shabbat candles this evening.
these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own days, be among us who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We continue on page 144 with the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitkada, v'yitkada shemei rabba, yamad yivrach yudhev amlich malchutei, b'chai yechor v'yomecho, u'b'chai yerecho beit Yisrael, b'gala, u'bizman karim, v'yemeru, Amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevorach, le'olam le'olmei maya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitroma, v'yitasei, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalav, shemei kodesha, b'richu, leila, min kol birchata, b'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, ta'amiran b'alma, v'yemeru, Amen.
We rise for the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvivuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hachochavim, b'mishroteya berakir kirtzono, barei yom v'layla, kolea or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Uma'avir yom u'bein laila, Uma'avdil bein yom u'bein laila, Adonai tzefaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael amchavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadita. Let's try it. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael amchavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadita. ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימד איתה. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגן יום ולילה, אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימד איתה. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימד איתה. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. 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 ברוך שכבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ברוך שכבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
Please be seated. We continue with the Via Hafta on page 154, and we're so lucky that our B'nai Mitzvah, our Bar Mitzvah for tomorrow, Oliver Capozzi, can lead us in the Via Hafta.
ואהבת את אדון אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי אצווך היום על לבביך. ושנאתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלתך בדרך ושופך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו תותפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Oliver, that was awesome. And so you conclude our 83 bar mitzvahs from this past year, which is truly amazing. And Oliver, I could not think of a better bar mitzvah to finish with than you. We are so proud that you will be standing on this bima tomorrow, that you have worked extremely hard. You have been laser focused as you prepared for this special day, and I can't wait, and can't wait to just be on the bima with your family to end this incredible year of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, which were truly remarkable. And I thank the entire congregation as well as all of our B'nai Mitzvah families who have rolled with each turn and change especially your family as well. So congratulations, Oliver, Mazel Tov, and we look forward for your chanting of Torah tomorrow. We continue on page 159. Please join with us. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Ba'elim Adonai kamocha Nedar b'kodesh Torah tehilot Oseh feleh Mi kamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha Nedar b'kodesh Torah tehilot Oseh feleh Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze Elianu anu ve'amiru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you?
Page 160, we turn to a prayer for shelter, Hashkivin.
Save
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. We turn to the words of the Amidah, page 164. Please rise.
Adonai Svatai Tivtach. Adonai Svatai Tivtach. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaTorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Bekolei Hakol Mezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mivini Gula V'Melech U'Me'amas Shebo B'Ahava Melech Hazer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'Ezra Sarah Atah Givor Elamai Mechaye Hakol Atara Ve'Moshiach Morid Hatah Mechakeh Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somet Noflim Berofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mechayeh Be'emunato L'Shenei Afar Michamocha Ba'Kivunot U'Midobela Melech Nemid U'Mechayeh U'Matzir Yeshua V'Ne'emanot al Hachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shemcha Kadosh V'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Elelu Chatzela Baruch atah Adonai HaEl HaKadosh.
We continue silently with our own prayers, either the words of our Siddur or the words of your heart. When you're done praying, I invite you to be seated.
lefi והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי יהיו לרצון עם לפי יהיו לרצון עם לפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי
Page 371. At this time in our service, our thoughts turn to those who need extra healing of mind, body, or spirit. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu Yivarech et HaCholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. If you are thinking of someone this evening, I invite you to say their names out loud or write them in the chat box.
Lila Barsky, Robert Hale.
Lynn Letteris.
Rick Heath.
Ken Lipstein.
We also think of Gabby Kraft Buckman, Summer Curter, Arlene Furman, Neil Silverman, Mason Rockmore, Martin Ostroff, Pearl Weitzman, Aaron Taylor, Perry Shellman, Sharon Neese, Andy Scatorius Diori, Joyce Kagan, Ina Batvevel Draymond, Kathy Murphy, Stephen Brundage, Betty Moore, Madison Mosher, Stephen Wasser, Melissa Baer, Anita Engel, David Lazar, Amy Lederer Shapiro, Rosalie Elbaum, Stephen Anthony Susak, Benjamin Kagan, Rosalie Landau, Mitchell Shmuel, Sharon Chappell, David Mazel, Connor Jelinis, Ari Brockman, Naomi Abramson, Gloria Fleischner, Howard Kessler, Anthony Carlos, Cheryl Becker, Michelle Colbert, Michelle Sherman, Jack Nat, Shirley Rosenberg, Kim Olson, Judy Kellner, and Phyllis Bernstein, as well as those who are in our chat. Gary Donner. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. On page 123, we turn to the words of Kiddush. Actually, I think it's going to be 122 to begin with. And if we are celebrating anything good, we want to add sweetness to Shabbat. So I think this is Asher's first Shabbat watching from home, which I'm sure he's sleeping through, or hopefully sleeping through. Any other good things that might have happened to people this past week? Yes?
We've just celebrated our granddaughter's bat mitzvah in San Francisco.
Awesome. A granddaughter's bat mitzvah in San Francisco. Mazel tov. Any other good things?
Birthday for Arlene.
Arlene Gardner's birthday. Happy birthday.
Ooh, lucky one.
Any other good things? All the wonderful students graduated from Westfield High School. Mazel tov to them. We had a great group that graduated. We hope that they enjoy the summer. Camp starts. I know some people have been off to camp already. Some are going to camp this weekend, and some are starting day camp on Monday. So we hope all of our campers have a wonderful summer, and their parents have a great summer too. Any other good things? That's enough for tonight. Please rise for the Kiddush, the birth of Lucas Schoenbach. Yes, Marcy Schoenbach. Mazel tov on your birth of your newest grandson. Mazel tov to you.
ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי ויחולו השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מכוח מלאכתו אשר עשה וישמור ביום השביעי מכוח מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי ורבותיי וחבריי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קדשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכהנים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim.
Chaim. Please be seated. If you are looking for a great summer read, let me suggest you may not have to go too much further than the Torah portion that Oliver will be reading from tomorrow. Wonderful narrative of intrigue and danger, a little fantasy, and blessings, and a crucial plot twist. It seems that Balak, the king of Moab, is concerned about the Israelite people's presence in their midst. They are becoming numerous, and a threat, and he fears to his reign. He seeks the service of a renowned prophet, Balaam, and after some cajoling, he hires him to curse the Jewish people. Spoiler alert, although hired to do so due to God's intervention, Balaam, every time he opens his mouth to offer a curse, much to his patron Balak's great chagrin, a blessing comes out. The most famous we will sing as we do every morning service. I like to focus on the fantasy part, however. Now, having 3 kids under 6, we read a lot of storybooks, and many of these books consist of talking animals. Zoe's favorites, and maybe Caleb's Peppa Pig or Daniel Tiger, are filled with dialogue and rich messages from the animal kingdom. It seems that children's authors, with lessons to teach morals to convey, feel that a tiger or a pig or even a furry monster can get the point across a lot better than a human being. Which takes me back to this week's Torah portion. Perhaps the most memorable component of this week's Torah portion is the talking donkey. As you may remember, although God tells Balaam not to accept Balak's proposition, he finally succumbs after being promised considerable wealth. Balaam begins the journey to the mountaintop, overlooking the Israelites' camp, where the curses will be proclaimed. But as he travels, his donkey stops and refuses to move, Balaam furiously beats the donkey 3 times to get it moving. Finally, the donkey turns to the prophet and the seer and says, "Hey, idiot, look, I am the ass that you have been riding all along this day. Have I been in the habit of doing thus to you?" At that point, according to the text, Adonai uncovered Balaam's eye, and he saw the angel with the sword standing in his way. The angel says, "If it wasn't for the donkey stopping, I would have slain you." In other words, who is the real ass here? The famous seer can't see what the simple beast can. So is there a point to all of this? On one hand, it may be Torah's way of teaching us to not put too much stock in prophecy. Better to trust God than in individuals who claim that they are recipients and therefore the deliverers of God's words. Or perhaps it's that sometimes we may get a more profound message from an animal or something in the natural world than we do from someone claiming to be God's messenger. Or phrased a slightly different way, with a bit of homage to Al Gore, sometimes the truth that nature speaks may not only be inconvenient, but also a powerful warning of danger ahead. If there is a message for this Shabbat growing out of this Torah portion, it may be the environmental one. Nature is speaking, and maybe we should not be going forward with business as usual. Once again, intense heat and forest ablaze in the west. There are melting glaciers, threats of storms, endangered species, and all the other dangers and warnings of global warming and climate change are things to which we should pay heed. What will it take for us to open our minds and hearts to what the message is? And how can we get those who are empowered to take notes? It's interesting that the rabbis of old, who in the main were literalists, and cannot dismiss a talking snake or talking donkey as allegory or fantasy, had to come up with an explanation for something that they in their hearts knew cannot possibly be. So their answer was that all these things that defied reality, all the miraculous events that occur in Torah, were actually pre-created by God during the twilight of the 6th day, in the first week of creation. In other words, the donkey speaking did not violate natural law. God foresaw what would be, and while God created a world in which donkeys would not speak, he made one exception for Balaam's donkey at that precise moment of our story. But the bigger perspective is that that donkey was created at the very last minute of the final day of creation to remind us that all had been created that could be destroyed if we do not act responsibly. Out of the mouths of animals, out of the mouth of a talking donkey, out of this week's Torah portion, an environmental ethic, and a very powerful reminder. Shabbat Shalom. Page 376, we rise for a prayer for the state, for our country. Please join me on the bottom of page 376. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. And together we say, Amen. And now, prayer for the state of Israel. 377. Aminu Shabbat Shemayim, Tzor Yisrael B'Goelo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. We conclude our service on page 586 with the words of Elenu. We remain standing.
Aleinu Shabeach V'Adon HaKol, V'Atei Ketura L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu K'nei HaRatzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishpachot HaAdama, Shelo Sam Chalkenu Chaim, V'gor Aleinu K'chol HaOlam, Anu Korim, U'Mishtachavim U'Modim, L'fnei Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. Page 591. Rise up like the Son of God over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. We turn to our Mourner's Kaddish on page 595. Throughout this year, we have bringing memories of those on our list to light. And so this evening, P. Klein would like to share a memory.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Ernst Bergler was my wife's father. I mention that because he passed away 2 months before we got married. A little background, he was born in Germany, and he happened to be on the last ship that left Germany to go to England while Hitler was in charge. When he came to this country, he became a jeweler for a company called Scheinman & Company. He's a very, very humble person. To give you an idea what he was like, Susan and I were concerned because of the fact that for about 7 or 8 years he had lymphatic leukemia, which he eventually passed away from. Until the last 4 or 5 months, he lived a very normal life, and we were thinking about moving the wedding up. And he very adamantly told us privately, please don't get the wrong idea. This wedding is not about me. It's about the two of you. Please do not move the wedding up. Okay? It just shows how, that he put himself second below other people. Okay. That's
Thank you, Pete, for that
Very
memory of your father-in-law, Ernest Bergler. We turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish. If you hear your loved one's name this evening, I invite you to rise and remain standing. We remember those who in our community have died in the last 30 days. Judy Gilbert, aunt of Lori Zinberg. Myra Hoffman, mother of David Hoffman. Joyce Marone, sister of Tony Williams. Sean Gilly, friend of Jeffrey Kagan. Remember the yard site, the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths. Suzanne Barbie, Bernice Barandes, Ernest Bergler, Anita Bernstein, Morris Bernstein, Meir Biddleman, Morton Brody, Jeffrey Carlin, Peter Chorost, Jeffrey Cohen, Kiki Cohen, Norman Dubrow, Harold Edelson, Reba Eidelberg, Harold Eisner, Lester Fenichel, Ruth Verstein, Esther Garner, Beatrice Godner, Herbert Granick, Seymour Houtman, Sophie Hirsch, Sylvia Caravan, Rose Kundler, Hilda Kimmel, Sheila Kosef, Eugenia Kover, Harold Krefsky, David Labovitz, Bella Landerman, Clara Lofbaum, Sally Lightbrenner, Sylvia Levine, Gertrude Linder, Toby Moskowitz, Ida Cohen-Nivell, Jacob Reichman, Estelle Rinn, Marjorie Rose, Sandra Rosen, Bernard Radofsky, Cindy Shackman, Matthew Schwartz, Leonard Siegel, Jenny Shurin, Leslie Sobo, Michael Sorok, Jerry Steinberg, Saul Strauss, Ruth Taylor, Elliot Trayman, Hyman Tucker, Sadie Wald, Meir Warshaw, Andrew Wada, Jeanette Weil, Esther Weisbrot, Rose Wishy, Molly Zukroff, and Estelle Zweigbaum. If you are remembering a loved one this evening, I invite you to say their names now. If you're in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise as well. In sacred solidarity, as one congregation, we turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Please rise. Yikada v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivarach urutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'bizman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam amei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah barichu, le'elah mikol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata, Damira b'yama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, huya asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all of Israel, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. Thank you for joining us in person and online. We are so glad that we can celebrate Shabbat. We want to thank Cantor Anna Ott, who has been here with us for the past year. This is her last official Shabbat on this bima. I'm sure we'll be having you back many other times throughout our temple life, but we just want to thank you, Anna, for all that you've done, for all that you've brought. Whenever I hear the Lechatoti from Mark Wachowski, right? Is that him?
Josh.
Mark Wachowski is a famous professor at HUC. Josh Wachowski, I will always think of you. Thank you for bringing
it here.
Thank you for bringing your talent, your knowledge of so many new Jewish artists, and just bringing your soul to this community. I know that our B'nai Mitzvah families have been loved working with you, and I've loved, as well as other clergy, standing on this bima with you.
Thank you.
We wish you luck, and don't be a stranger. I'm sure we'll see you again throughout our Shabbat experiences. Next week, we have a program with Stand With Us, talking about the BDS movement and how on college campuses we can combat the BDS movement. Please join us online, sign up. You can find information about that in our e-blast. And we'll be back next Friday for Patriotic Shabbat, July 4th weekend. We will also be welcoming Cantor Alana Goldman to our community next Friday, and there'll be a reception in 2 weeks to welcome her to our community as well. Our closing song, Tefillat Haderech, a beautiful way, a beautiful message as we go on our way.
You can find it on page 649 if you'd like to sing along, and I hope you will, because we're wishing each other well. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
Mazel tov to Oliver Capozzi. Mazel tov to all of us for being here this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.